So wait,
Does it
are
sound
we
okay?
re-recording then?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're recording.
I'm
We just
recording.
haven't synced up yet.
Re-recording, right? Like we're canceling this one and
Yeah.
starting over.
No.
Okay.
We're
I'm
keeping the
keeping this one.
recording. We're just
Oh,
because the recording isn't us syncing.
wait, what?
Okay, are you ready?
Wait, are we
So we're
clapping
We're
again?
still.
I've been recording for over a minute.
1, 2, 3, clap.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 1 of the Just Chatting podcast with RlyTyler, JSaxter, and Kathaya. We don't really know what we're doing on this podcast yet. We haven't really decided. We decided for our first episode it would make the most sense to do a Q&A, but first we want to introduce ourselves. So I'm Tyler. I am a small content creator that does gaming and don't really think I do anything else. um I don't really know if there's anything else about me other than I play lots of games and spend a lot of time with my friends. But yeah, I'll pass it over to Johnny so he can introduce himself next.
Hi guys, my name is JSaxter. I am a family-friendly content creator that lives near Toronto, Canada. Yes, I am Canadian, one of the Canadians of the group, the only Canadian in the group actually. But I do Fortnite content and also Roblox. I'm family-friendly, and I also stream on multiple platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and also Twitch as well. And I've also been streaming for almost 4 years now, which is actually kind of really exciting. I'm also a full-time student. On top of that, also in a program called Labor Relations, and I just honestly like doing all sorts of things outside of singing, or outside of streaming, like singing and yeah, lots of fun stuff, and I just really can't wait to share more with you guys.
Hi, I'm Kathaya. I like cats. Yeah.
Okay, so the first question we got was, how did you guys meet? It's kind of, our stories of how we met are a little bit interesting.
Quirky.
So Kathaya and I met back in 2018, so like 6 years ago.
We were
Which
babies. We were not adults.
we absolutely were babies. Feels 6 years feels like such a long time.
That was not 6 years. 2018 was not 6 years ago.
It doesn't feel like it. It feels so wrong to say 6 years ago. But we met actually, we're friends from college. We both were in high school taking college classes, and we actually met in a dance class at our college. I was getting the last of my PE credits to graduate from high school, and just so happened we enrolled in the same class. And yeah, so that's how we met. And I actually met JSaxter through Pokimane, which sounds a little bit interesting.
Dang, what a flex.
Right? Yeah, Pokimane introduced me to JSaxter. But no, a few years ago, almost 3 years ago actually, at the time of the recording, she rated JSaxter, and I happened to be watching her stream when she rated it, and so I followed him, and I ended up just kind of joining his community as like a mod a few months after that, and we talked a lot, and yeah, now we're good friends. But
It's just such an interesting kind of coincidence and thing that happens, and it's a conversation we've had so many times. We're like, oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine not meeting you through that raid or something like that, because we become honestly such really great friends and made such amazing memories together. And Tyler's also an incredible admin within my community as well, which I'm so beyond blessed, and he's absolutely amazing. And then Kathaya I actually had met through Tyler as well. I want to say it feels like forever ago, because I feel like
It
I've
was
surely
2 years ago?
yeah, we just checked. It's been 2 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say it feels like it's been 2 years, but I feel like I've known Kathaya forever, and so it doesn't really feel like 2 years. It feels like ages ago, because when I make no, when I make a genuine connection and friendship with someone, I'm I feel like I've known them forever. I can't imagine them not in my life, and so that's just, yeah, that's how I met
Aw.
Kathaya as well.
Why did you all decide to make the podcast?
I did a subathon a few months ago now. 5 months actually. That feels not right. But I did a subathon, and that was one of the sub goals, and I had no intention of hitting it. And but we hit the goal, and so now I'm making the podcast. But since I didn't want to do it alone, I was like, hey, Kathaya and Johnny, you guys want to do a podcast with me? Because they're two of my closest friends, and we all kind of bounce off of each other pretty well for the most part. And yeah, so I kind of just asked them, and now we're here.
Honestly, when Tyler had approached Kathaya and I about looking into a podcast, I've always wanted to do a podcast. I actually did one a million years ago. I'm like a dinosaur, but like when I was in high school for fun, and I had so much fun doing it because there's so many things you can talk about, and I feel like it's such a good way to interplay like personal aspects of your life and experiences, and it allows like everyone else that maybe doesn't know you super personally as well as we know each other to be able to get to know us more on a deeper level and be able to share experiences and shared wisdom, and just also be able to like, I feel like, get to know more stories about each other, because we know so much about each other, but I feel like this is going to be a really good opportunity for us to also learn more about each other and be like, oh my gosh, wait, that happened? Like, oh, that's so cool. But this is a great opportunity to just share more and learn more and just create more memories. And so I was like, absolutely, this is such a great experience.
Share our friendship with the public.
Yes, the friendship, our friendship with the world.
I've never like listened to any podcasts like this. Like the only I only listen to 2 podcasts, and it's Dungeons and Daddy's Not a BDSM Podcast and Podcast But Outside, which are 2 like not super traditional ones. So I am like, I'm just here. I don't.
Another question that we had received as well is, what are your favorite shows and or animes?
Oh, so honestly, I have a couple of favorites. I would say I'm a really big fan of like animated shows, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Avatar The Last Airbender is a forever favorite.
Solid.
Especially with the live action show having just come out, like I think that's kind of making a comeback. I really
It's
like
making
that
its
one
second comeback.
Yeah, it really is.
There's the lockdown comeback when it got put on Netflix,
yeah.
and now we have round 2.
I'm so glad, dude, because that one and Young Justice, those are my 2 like forever faves. Which tend to be a little like comic-y, like superhero themed type shows. I don't know, I think those are 2 of my forever favorites. I also really like Superstore. Superstore is really funny. I worked in retail for a while, and so I feel like I just related a lot to that one and saw a lot of like just funny moments where I was like, oh, I've been there before. So those were my favorites.
Superstore.
It basically, have you seen like The Office?
Yeah.
It's basically like that, but for retail workers.
Oh.
Yeah.
I need to watch that.
It
I
was
worked
so
retail.
good.
We talked about doing like a retail like customer service kind of themed episode about our weird stories. So
I think we should watch an episode of Superstore together before we record that one,
fun.
and then record that after. But Johnny, what are yours?
My favorite shows and or animes, I mean, if we're talking about anime specifically, I have such a long way to go and I feel so behind, and I just like need to find time to catch up on animes. But like, I love Demon Slayer, and I've seen like half of the first season, and I just need to like really get through the rest of the first season because it is so good. I'm literally obsessed. Death Note was also incredible. And I feel like, you know, like that feeling where you want to forget a show so you can rewatch and experience it again? Like, I want that with Death Note because that show was so good.
Relive your first time.
Right, exactly. And like right now, oh my gosh, I've been so into K-dramas, Korean dramas, and yes, oh my gosh, guys, it's bad. Anyways, but I'm literally so obsessed. But like, no, I watched My Demon, which is such an amazing show. I watched Love Alarm, which is another really good K-drama. I'm watching
heard of that one.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Love Alarm. I was crying. Like, it's so good, but it also makes you cry. And I've also been watching one called Doom at Your Service, which kind of reminds me a lot of My Demon. Regardless, I usually watch a lot of shows and like things like that, and like, you know, like you'll have the emotions and the empathy and you'll be like, oh, like that's sad or that's so exciting, but like literally every K-drama I watch, I cry. Like there's no there's no doubt that at least at 1, 2, 3 episodes or at some point in the show, I will be bawling my eyes out because it is so good.
So you know it's a good show.
He gets a little emotional.
Absolutely. But Kathaya, what about you? What are some of your favorite shows and animes?
To the throat. Let's see. I feel like anyone that knows me will know Over the Garden Wall is probably my favorite show of all time. I love that series. It's so freaking good. I've seen it like 30 times now. It's an addiction. Adventure Time is also up there. Avatar, obviously. For anime, I'm a big, like, I don't know, feel-good anime kind of fan. I like Haikyuu. Given is really good. Carol and Tuesday is up there for me. I've been watching this one recently. It's newer. It's called A Side of Affection, about this deaf girl. And there's this guy that knows a bunch of languages and has done a bunch of traveling and stuff. And then he meets her and he's like, wow, I don't even need to leave Japan to learn a new language. This is awesome. And it's really cute. Anyway.
I totally forgot to mention anime. Death Note's the only one I watched the full thing for, and that's because I absolutely loved it and could rewatch that like over and over again. It's super good.
I was never able to get into it. I don't know why. It just, something about the pacing or the characters, I don't know.
Yeah. It's a very specific style.
Yeah, there's like very specific style, and there's 3 different kinds of like outlets of media that you can choose to watch Death Note. Like I know there's like the anime, and then there's also the actual like movie on Netflix, which I feel like doesn't do it enough justice because the show is so good. And then there's I think the manga version.
The manga reminds me of when you're talking about the K-dramas. I think you read some webtoons, do you?
I don't, but I definitely want to no, that's a very, very, very big thing. And I kind of want to get into that because a lot of the K-dramas I've seen were based on webtoons.
Yeah, I've read some of those webtoons that they're based off of, and they're really good. I used to watch a lot of K-dramas back in high school, and now I've leaned more towards webtoons. It's my, like, while I'm falling asleep, I read a couple episodes.
It's so bad.
Have you seen, or sorry, not seen, I guess, but have you read, I haven't read it, I've seen the show, but there's one called Backstreet Rookie.
I have not.
Oh my gosh, you need to. Again, another show that I cried.
All the best shows will make you cry.
Absolutely.
The best shows make you cry from things that aren't even a character death. Like, it's just character emotion, you know?
No, seriously, like when like they finally like reconvene and like they hug for the first time, I'm like, yes, as you should.
Dude, I've started crying at everything. Like funny, sad, happy, angry. Like I just cry every time I see any of that.
I just cry all the time. That is my emotional outlet.
Crying is so healthy, but that's a whole other topic.
Well, in that case, I guess I'm very healthy because that's all I seem to do when I watch a lot of movies and shows.
Me too, though. Me too. Do you want to just like have like a whole like screen share night where we just watch movies and cry
Crying
together?
session.
Dude, that's my dream.
We need to do that then. Live out our dream.
Speaking of anime and TV shows, someone asks if you could cosplay anyone from a show, movie, or book, who would it be? And I'm gonna ask also why. What is your reasoning for this?
I've known about this question and I should have been thinking about this question. I've been thinking about it and I really can't decide. I don't know if you guys saw when we were like prepping everything, but I had my screen share up and I was literally searching up Valorant agents and I was like, that would be a fun like cosplay to do it. Then I was like, oh, I can't decide on one.
I was wondering what you were doing.
Yeah, that's why I had that list up. I think it would be really cool to cosplay like Omen from Valorant, or even like maybe Nightwing would be cool, or
Nightwing would be such a fun cosplay. Him and Red Hood are like
Red Hood would be so cool. But then I thought about it also, and I could also do like a gender bend Harley Quinn because that's basically what my brand is, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. Like there's I guess a couple of things that I would want to try, but I've never cosplayed before, but I think it would be really fun to try one of those.
Bro, I'll style your wigs for you. Just let me know.
Yeah. But what about you, Johnny?
So like I admittedly was like doing some research too. And for me personally, if we're talking about like a game character, I'm like literally obsessed with Fortnite, and my main avatar and skin on Fortnite for like years is the Cuddle King, and I feel like I need to channel my inner Cuddle King because like he is literally the cutest thing ever, and I'm literally obsessed. And so like for me, if we're basing it on like a game, I would definitely want to cosplay as the Cuddle King because I've never done that. But if we're talking about like for like anime, maybe like Light or L from Death Note, because I just feel like they're so mysterious and interesting and like really captivating characters. But like also, I'm obsessed with the fashion sense of Jungwoo from My Demon, and I just want to channel that inner like fashion, like just the hair, the outfits, the everything. Like I love fashion so much, so I'd want to be like him from My Demon. That'd be so cool.
Kathaya, what's your favorite cosplay that you've done?
That's a tough one because some of them are like fun to be in because they're comfortable, and then some of them are fun to look at.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite ones I've ever done is the Beast from Over the Garden Wall.
That sounds like a fun one.
Yeah, I was wearing stilts and everything. I accidentally made a child cry.
That's how you know it was a successful cosplay.
Yeah. Tao Kaka from BlazBlue is also up there. I need to remake her mask, but I love how that one turned out. Rayla's also pretty up there, but I need to remake pretty much her entire costume. It's not that well made. And Tuesday from Carol and Tuesday, because I get to like sing as her.
I love that.
Do you make all of your cosplays or?
For the most part, I like make most of them from either scratch, or a lot of them are like articles of clothing from the thrift store that I alter. And then a couple of them I've ordered online, but I usually have to alter them anyways.
I love that.
And for cosplays I would want to cosplay that I haven't cosplayed yet, two of my dream ones are Jim from Troll Hunters in his full like Troll Hunter armor with like blue LEDs and everything. That would be so freaking sick, and I want to do it so bad, but I don't know how to make armor. And also the Lich from Adventure Time, I think would be really cool too. Like make it super realistic and creepy looking.
That sounds really fun. I honestly would
Yeah.
love to see you in both of those.
Another question we have is what inspired or influenced us to begin our content creation journeys?
Oh, I just at the start of the pandemic was like, I'm bored. I have a little extra free time because before the pandemic, when work would end, I'd like go home or maybe I'd go spend some time with like a friend or something because one of my coworkers was also like my childhood best friend. But obviously so much shut down, and so that wasn't really an option to go do stuff anymore.
It was a big like time. I don't know, so much changed.
Yeah, and so I was like, I always loved gaming, and so that was like a big thing for me, and I was like, let me just like stream my gameplay. And so I started out streaming things like Minecraft and Call of Duty. I streamed all weird hours, but I streamed all the time. And so I think it was really just about like, I don't know, like showing people what I was doing, and like if people enjoyed watching, which it seemed like at the start a lot of people were really interested in the gameplay, then I just continued doing it. And I thought it was a lot of fun. So I guess that's kind of my like why I started. But yeah, no, I wasn't even really super big into Twitch before I started streaming. I watched a couple people like Valkyrie or Pokimane. But yeah, no, I didn't really get super active into Twitch until I started streaming.
I feel like COVID launched a lot of people into streaming, like them having the time at home.
Definitely. Is that what launched you into streaming?
Not really. I honestly, cosplay has nothing to do with it either. I don't know. When I play games, I tend to just narrate things in my head, and I was like, what if I just did this but for other people? And sometimes I would, combine it with cosplaying and stuff, and lately I've been into music streams, and I want to be doing more of that in the future, hopefully. Yeah, the thing that made me think, wow, streaming could be fun is I was watching a Mumbo Jumbo video, like the Minecraft YouTuber, and he was talking about how he did this live stream where he just like placed concrete blocks for like 2 hours, and it was so fun, and I was like, dang, I want that.
I love that so much. I think like kind of similar to how Tyler kind of explained his content creation journey and what inspired him and influenced him in making content. I also got into content creation and streaming during the pandemic, fortunately and unfortunately due to the circumstances of the time. But I think lockdown, because it was such a new experience and also a very scary time where like you were scared to even go outside on your front porch or like really go outside because it was just such a new thing and everything was locked down. There was really nothing crazy to do. And like, I will admit, I definitely at the beginning of the pandemic was like, all right, time to binge all my Netflix series. Cause I was like, I like literally, right? I'm like, I need to fill in the gaps because it was really a lot. And I think oddly enough, you know how like we go to TV shows and like movies and stuff and we watch them and like we kind of interplay them and relate them to like our lives in some way, shape or form because we have all different lived experiences. Like, literally my life was Netflix because like I was able to see people in shows go outside and do normal human things that we could. It really did. It felt like we were watching and witnessing like a fantasy genre because our lives were like so different and it was really scary, but you know, we got through it. And I think one thing that really inspired me to want to get into content creation because I did have the extra time was I watched, you know, streamers like Pokimane and Nick830 and CypherPK and Chica and so many other amazing influencers. And I've always wanted to be a content creator from a very, very young age. But like I always did something and then I stopped because, you know, like either I had to focus a lot on school or like X, Y, and Z happened. But then the pandemic really like there was really nothing else to do. I couldn't go to work. I couldn't get a job. I was done school for the year and I was like, all right, let's just do it for fun. And me and a friend at the time would stream for fun and we would go into random fills and like games on Fortnite. And like, I remember from day one, I always asked, what made you smile today? Because I feel like that's a very, very big thing. And just because at the time, obviously everyone was going through something and during COVID it was definitely a scary time. And so asking what made you smile kind of forced everyone to even find one small little thing to appreciate and be happy about. I think that really just influenced me in wanting to be a creator too, not just for the sake of like, I want to grow, I want to do this, but like more so to make content that people can watch and be like, this is a good distraction and I feel safe here, you know?
Yeah. It's so easy for people to like think about all of the negatives.
Absolutely.
It's nice to like give them I'm forcing you to think about the positives now. Tell me them right
exactly.
now.
No, seriously.
What made you want to start doing it more professionally? And like, did you have any like goals you wanted to hit or anything? Have you like reached some goals or milestones that you didn't think you'd be able to before?
So truth be told, from day one, honestly, like I would just be going into random fills in Fortnite and it was more of kind of like just making anyone's day in that moment. Like, and it made me so sad because so many of the games that we got in, there were so many like obviously like younger individuals on Fortnite that were like, oh, like I'm going through this or it's not a great time or, you know, like obviously COVID. And so me and my friend would literally like every so often be like, okay, if we win this game, we'll buy you the battle pass. If we win this game, we'll give you V-Bucks. Something like even simple as that every so often just to like put a smile on someone's face or even just to listen. Cause like a lot of, you know, individuals would like to, you know, chat a lot about what's going on. And so just having heartfelt conversations and just giving someone an ear during a difficult time, I think was a big thing. And it slowly started growing. There was one individual in my community that I was so shocked to know that like one amazing Saxter fan member, the only Saxter fan member I had for months, would come back every single day. I had no big platform. I had like one follower, like, and seeing them come back was very motivating and inspiring because I was like, okay, I must be doing something right. And I kept doing it for fun. I went back to work still and worked a full-time job, but I was like, I don't want to give up on this, even if it's for fun, you know, even if it's a few hours here and there. And I would stream consistently. And then eventually I became affiliated like 6 months later. And I was like, oh my gosh, like didn't even expect affiliation. Anyways, long story short, kind of fast forward, you know, I'm now a partnered streamer and I've honestly met goals that I'm going to be 1,000,000% honest, never had any intentions from the beginning to ever get to. And I think that's why it makes it so much more worthwhile and so much more rewarding because when you expect things, you're disappointed. And when you don't expect anything, you're like, oh my gosh, I can do this. And I think it was a really good, you know, journey like up to like, especially now the past 4 years of being able to just do what I love and love what I do and allowing so many other amazing human beings and Saxter fan members to participate in that and being able to play games and, you know, have fun and laugh and talk about real things in life and just being vulnerable. And so I'm really glad that my message from day one has stuck true to me. And that's definitely just something I want to continue doing is staying true to who I was from day one.
Yeah, you've been crushing it lately. Like,
Thank you.
I mean, you've done a lot. Like, I mean, just since I met you, like, you've really, really, really grown your following. You hit Twitch partner. You became a YouTube partner in the last
Yes.
few months. Like,
Yeah, that's
you had your
wild.
first sponsorship. Did you see any of that happening when you first started?
I had no, I know it sounds funny because I'm very much like JSaxter and Johnny, and like I'm very much like, you know, myself, and like there's sometimes like a lot of like, misconception too about like kind of how I behave on stream. Like, is it real? Is it fake? XYZ. I'm genuinely telling you, like, off stream, yes, obviously, like, you know, I need to get my energy, need to rest and, you know, get that in, because truth be told, we can't be energetic 24/7. And no, yeah, I never had any idea from the beginning to brand myself. Like, genuinely, it was just like, okay, my username's JSaxter. Hi, I'm Johnny. This is what it is. And going from there. And so no expectations. And even like with the Pokimane situation, like having such a incredible raid from Poki, like being raided from someone that I always looked up to and like was a big influence to me, was absolutely amazing. And like that's a big reason why now I get to be here doing these things with Kathaya and Tyler, because I wouldn't have known Tyler if it wasn't through Poki, and I wouldn't have known Kathaya if it wasn't through Tyler. And so it's one of those things where everything just kind of connects, and I'm just super, super beyond blessed and grateful to do what I do. And yeah. But I'm also really curious. Obviously, Kathaya, you mentioned some things about streaming previously and what you got into with streamings, but how did you decide on becoming specifically maybe like a gaming or music or even cosplay streamer?
I just like doing things that make me happy. I don't know, very early on, I vowed to only stream if I wanted to and was having fun with it, because I've never really been in it for the money. I've always been in it for like, I just enjoy it. It's just things that I enjoy doing that hopefully other people enjoy watching me do. I feel like the music is the most that I have to offer, because I've been practicing for a long time, and it's something I'm really passionate about, so I always feel very special when people are willing to listen. I don't know how I would go about streaming it, but I really like going into public VR chat lobbies.
Yes.
And just singing for strangers there. It's amazing practice. If I could find a way to safely stream public VR chat lobbies, I know people do it. I've seen like Naku do it and a few others, but I don't know how I would make content out of that. Yeah, I want to do more music streams once I'm settled into the new place.
Dude, I love watching your music streams. They're always so like
Yes.
chill and nice.
Thank you.
I have so much respect too with a point that you made earlier, is like you wanted to get into it with no expectations and you just want to like make people smile, or like truly just such a wholesome message. And I think that's absolutely incredible. And I also love the idea of like being able to like entertain online is such an incredible thing too. And so you wanting to go in VR chat lobbies is so cute, and like sing. And quite honestly, if I was in
busking.
Yes, no, and I love that. And like if I was in like a VR chat lobby and like I didn't know who you were and you came in and started singing, like that would make my night. Just because I feel like guys, if you have not heard Kathaya's voice, like, and I mean this with my whole entire heart, Kathaya has like the actual voice of an angel, and I'm not even kidding. Like such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful voice. And honestly, like I really like just keep doing it because it is amazing.
Thank you,
It's
Johnny.
incredible. And you're like kind of like the ultimate variety creator, because like your channels on YouTube and Twitch are basically anything from music to VR chat to Minecraft
Yes.
to
Kind of to a
cosplay.
fault.
It's like
It's all over the place.
and art
but-
even. Like it's always like, I feel like every time I see you live, I never 100% know what to expect, just because there's so much that you do, and it's always very entertaining whenever I
Yes.
come in.
I'm gonna get you in on a secret. I don't even know what I'm gonna do half the time.
I love
Sometimes I go
that,
live
though.
and I'm like, we're gonna figure this out, guys.
Kathaya's live streams are like an art form, because like you said, Kathaya will do gaming, Kathaya will do some cosplay and music. But I think what's absolutely incredible about Kathaya's streams is that it's basically all of the above sometimes. Like you will go in and Kathaya will be cosplaying, gaming, and singing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I'm just like, Kathaya, no, seriously, the talent, the absolute talent. And I'm just like, I love that. Like you are just such a free spirit. And that's what the world just needs, just like just more you, Kathaya. Just
Aw,
more you.
Y'all are buttering me up so much.
As you should, though, because it's true. And, like, no, I love it. It's amazing.
I feel like you don't give yourself enough credit. Like, I genuinely think you are one of the most entertaining creators on the platform.
I disagree
always.
respectfully, but
And, you know, sometimes it's okay to be wrong, but that's okay. But, look,
You're
like,
wrong.
I remember, like, one day, like, during this, like, first subathon I did, I needed to get some rest, and I was supposed to be gone for, like, 2 hours or something, and I slept way longer, but you somehow stayed the whole time and entertained people the whole time I was gone, and you put together a cosplay, and I don't even know everything you did because
the Marceline.
yeah, and
then we did ASMR afterwards.
that was the same day.
Yeah,
That
because I was in the
whole thing.
Marceline cosplay for the
I
ASMR.
forgot about that being the same day. That whole day, or that whole 2 week section of my life is such a blur, dude.
Was it 2 weeks?
It was 2 weeks. By the time
That's
I ended, we
insane.
had hit day 14.
Oh my god. Yeah, it was such a
yeah.
blur.
It was
For everyone
such a blur.
involved.
Like, I am so lucky. I have so many friends that are creators or willing to entertain and just be there and hang out with me and do things or take over my streams for a couple hours so I can rest. Like, I would not have made it. But no, I swear, like, you seriously put together, like, so much entertaining stuff while I was gone, and I really appreciated it, and it was just so good.
Yeah, next time maybe Moist Critical could take over. Actually, not next time. My cosplay stuff is deep in storage. But after I move, the one after I move, maybe Moist Critical will take over. Who knows?
Yeah. That was also very fun to see.
Dude, some of my for context, I did a stream cosplayed as Moist Critical. There's a video of it up on my YouTube. But yeah, some of my IRL friends found it and were messaging me about it.
Oh my god.
I had one of them, it was like recommended to them, and they thought it was actually Moist Critical and clicked on it, and they were like, what?
Wait, that's so funny that it got recommended to them.
So moving on to some life experience as well. What did you study in college or university was another question, and did it help you by any means with streaming?
Okay, so I've taken a few different, like, classes. Criminal justice was a path that I thought I was gonna take for a little bit. When I took that class, my professor was a retired chief of police, and
Oh.
I learned a lot of horrible things about police officers and was very quickly turned away from that career path. And so I opted to go towards business, which is also probably not the best, but it's better than a career in criminal justice because criminal justice is not real. But like I ended up going for like business and marketing. I do not think it helped me with streaming. In terms of like my presence in calls and on streams and in videos and stuff, I definitely don't feel like it really contributed anything. I do feel like my schooling kind of helped me a little bit with maybe like the business side and like the behind the scenes of this industry though.
Streaming is really just business if you think about it.
It absolutely is. And so I think that side of things I'm really grateful for, because like I definitely learned some stuff about like the business and the behind the scenes from my schooling, but overall I feel like no, it didn't really help me. I kind of wished that like I had picked something that would be like helpful for it, but also I'm not necessarily pursuing streaming as a career or anything, so it's not necessarily like I need to, focus on building up that presence. So yeah, I mean, I guess yes and no, it did and didn't help me.
I feel like there's not many college courses that are like geared towards streaming. Maybe nowadays, but like
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's a very, very recent thing, if that is a thing.
I think when it comes to like being able to carry yourself in streams and stuff, it would probably be more majors like theater.
Yeah, like acting,
Yeah,
improv.
exactly.
Improv would help. Yeah.
Definitely. So I feel like those would kind of be the things that would help, but
Guys, what if we
yeah,
all take an improv class together? Wouldn't that be fun?
That would
that
be
would be
so
really
much fun.
fun.
I love improv. Improv is so literally like unpredictable. That's literally why it's improv. That's literally why
It's
it's
almost
improv.
like you're improvising.
Yeah, it's almost like that's what improv is.
Whoa. I never thought about it like that.
Mind blown.
Kathaya, what did you study? Did you feel like it helped you at all?
Um, well, I mean, I guess it isn't too far off from improv. I studied dance. Well, I studied is a strong word. I just took a lot of dance classes in community college. That was it, back in high school. And like, I tried to take a Japanese class and then I realized, oh shoot, I'm homeschooled. I don't know how to do homework. Maybe I should drop this class. So I did. And then I took more dance classes and then I took sign language. And that one was actually really fun. And that's how I learned how to do homework and write papers. Yeah, but a lot of hip hop. A lot of hip hop. And that's where me and Tyler met, was in one of those hip hop classes.
This is true. Do you feel like
Yeah.
that kind of helped you with like how you present yourself on stream at all, or
Not really. I don't know. Like, it helped boost my confidence. So it had that going for it. I was like a little baby, little shy little guy. Uh, which I still am sometimes, but it helped kind of crack open the shell a little bit. I don't know. I don't think it's really helped me much other than that.
That's
And I guess
valid.
making sure I was fit throughout high school.
I don't even think it really helped me with my confidence. I think I just
Oh.
like not even in like a bad way or anything, just like I feel like I was kind of just there, showed up, did what I had to do to pass the class, and then moved on.
The height of our K-pop phases too during then, which is a fun little bonus.
So, fun fact, I was like not even really in a K-pop phase.
But
I think
me and Alicia were, and
you
were
and
by-
Alicia were, and for context, Alicia is my childhood best friend. But her and I went to high school, like we started elementary school, went through all of high school, like yeah, well, she was super into it, and I think that actually dragged me into one a little bit.
Yeah, you were into
Um,
K-pop by association.
Literally, I think that you and her kind of brought me into one for a little bit. And so there was a short period of time where I actually got like pretty into it.
We both liked J-Hope. That
Yes,
was a
we
bonding
did.
experience for us.
Yeah. But no, that was a fun time. I actually would really like to go back to that like
Same.
that point.
I'm really glad I went through a K-pop phase. There's some parts where it's like, oh, that was cringy, but also it helped me get into dance, get more serious about my singing. It made me better at makeup and style and stuff. So thanks K-pop phase for that.
Yeah, shout out to K-pop.
We love you,
Yeah. Shout out
K-pop.
to K-pop.
Not to get
We
like
love you,
too
girl.
off topic or anything. Did you end up going to see BTS when they were doing their like tour?
I did, yeah. I got to see Monsta X and BTS live.
Nice. I
Yeah.
felt like we had this conversation, but like I couldn't remember.
I had to freaking work a summer job to pay for those tickets. They were so expensive. It was like $800 each.
That is so much,
Yeah,
bro.
they're really expensive.
But I went with one other person. Yeah, one other person from
from the
the
class.
same hip hop class.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went together and it was really fun. I'm very glad that we went. I can check that off the bucket list.
Yeah.
Because this was right as they were rising in popularity. So they
Yeah.
weren't as popular as they are now.
That's already crazy to me because they were already so popular at that time.
Yeah. When I got into them, they were about as popular as like GOT7. I think EXO was more popular than them at the time. Like they were just, a name in the K-pop world. And they like exploded back in like 2019, I think is when they really started to get popular.
Wow. That's like actually really crazy to think about. No, because I remember like getting tickets to see BTS, and this was partially because there were not a whole lot of like shows that they were doing. but it was
Yeah.
basically like the equivalent of trying to buy Taylor Swift tickets for the Eras tour. Like
Oh my
they
god.
sold
Of the
out
K-pop world.
fast,
Yeah.
and it was
Three laptops like opened, like
yeah.
spamming the button. Yeah.
Literally, I remember that being like crazy, and so that's kind of like the comparison that like now versus that, and that's them not even being as popular as they are like now, or even just a
Yeah.
couple years ago. So
This was just at the beginning of their rise.
yeah, but they like skyrocketed. Sorry, I kind
Yeah.
of got us a little off topic.
No, but this is what this is about, you know?
Exactly, yeah. But Johnny, like, what are you studying? Because you're the only one of us still enrolled.
Yeah.
I am currently a student of a university.
Wow.
So right now I'm in a program called Labor Relations, and it's definitely not the most exciting thing to talk about just because it's like a lot of politics and like a lot of the economy and society, but I think it's very valuable. Yes, very, very valuable knowledge I feel like to have though, just because one thing I like about it is you're learning about like actual historical things and things that are currently happening and things that actually matter and, you know, things that affect our day to day. And I think that's a very important thing to learn. And so I'm always learning, I'm always staying educated, and I really like that. However, when I first went to university, I had a whole different pursuit of what I wanted to do with my career, obviously before content creation, and I wanted to be a therapist. So I went to school, in my first year for psychology. Y'all, psychology in first year is a lot. It is. It's like, it's very, very, very good to know, and it's very knowledgeable. I do remember though in my first year that I think I've like self-diagnosed myself with like half of everything because there's just so much. And I was like, okay, this is not maybe healthy. And it was just a very saturated field when I was going in. And so I was like, you know what, maybe this is not the career that I want to pursue at this time. And so I did switch my major to something that I do really, really enjoy now. And now I'm in content creation. But I think something that really...
Nice.
What's up, Kathaya? Sorry.
Oh, I just said nice.
Nice. So what kind of like helped me with streaming, I would say, is more so the psychology aspect of things. Just because I feel like when I got into content creation, ironically enough, if you think about it, I got in during COVID, and that was a time where there was a lot of people going through mental health crises and things of that nature. And so having that psychology background really helped with, you know, being somewhat of a support system or trying to be a support system, you know, for other amazing human beings or JSaxter fan members or community members that join in. Because it's funny because I do get a question a lot in my streams like, have you ever thought of being a therapist? And I'm like, it's so funny that you asked that because ... But no, I really feel like it did help me in a way of trying to understand, you know, as many human beings as I can and empathize and sympathize. Now, I only did like 1 year of it.
Intense.
Therapy is it's
Yeah.
intense. It's a lot.
My sister, she was in, what was it, economics, and she finished that degree and then decided, you know what, I want to become a therapist. And so she studied that, and now she's getting like clients and stuff for therapy, and it's like so crazy to me because that's so much mental load to take on,
Yeah.
like other people's issues. Like I could not.
It's also like a very different field, right? Because you're going from, you said economics?
Yeah.
So you're going from economics
really
to
different change.
psychology, and then I went from psychology to labor relations, so I completely changed my major.
It is definitely a heavy load to take on. I remember like when I was in therapy, my therapist was like, "Yep, no, I also have a therapist." Like
Good.
like they even need that like
It's maintenance for your brain.
yeah, it totally is.
Everyone needs someone to talk to, and I feel like that's a very important thing. And if we've learned anything, especially from COVID, like we're all human beings, right? We're not perfect, and it like there's no such thing as perfect. And so we're all learning about each other, and we're learning more about ourselves every day.
Johnny, do you do school online or in person? And how does that work with your streaming schedule? 'Cause you stream a
So
lot.
when the pandemic had first happened, obviously everything was locked down, and I know for at least a solid year or so, maybe year and a half, a lot of my courses were only offered online, and so it made streaming really easy in the sense of like that I didn't have to stress or worry too much about balancing school because I was at home. And so after streams I could do schoolwork, or before streams I could do schoolwork. I could kind of balance it on my own schedule. However, I am in person now, and I've been in person for like over a year or so, like year and a half, almost 2 years now. Like half of the time I was online, half the time now I'm in person. And so it's definitely been a bit of a shift because there's the thing with the university is it's very precarious in terms of what your times are. It's not like traditional like high school or elementary where you're like, oh, it's nine to 2 or 9 to 3. University could be 7 to 10 at night, or it could be 8 to like 11 in the morning, and the hours are random. Like some of my courses are an hour, some of my courses are 3 hours, and so it's very random. But honestly, I think I've gotten really used to how I balance it, and I'm just like really good at like scheduling things in terms of like, okay, this is my stream schedule, and everything else goes around that. So like obviously school is just as much an important priority for me, but in terms of like scheduling things for assignments or XYZ, at the beginning of every term, I write down all the due dates, I write down like timelines, and I'm like, when should I start these things? And so I give myself ample amount of time to organize my structure of my semester at school, and I just kind of work around that.
Yeah.
But another interesting question we also received was, how was your first TwitchCon experience in meeting myself and Dyer? So this is a question directed to Tyler.
Oh, I forgot that was a question. I really, really loved my first TwitchCon experience. So far, it's been my only TwitchCon experience in 2022. But honestly, I thought it was really fun. I really liked getting to meet people that like I've talked to online. Like I got to meet Johnny in person, which was incredible. I had a lot of fun with him and Dyer. We also met up with our friend Matthias. We spent a lot of time with him. He hung out at our Airbnb, and it was just a lot of fun. I met 2 new people that I've never met before, Chris and Whitney. Whitney or Keep Up Radio, I'm sure some people who have listened to this have heard of. She was absolutely incredible. It was really fun getting to see her go on stage during the TwitchCon party. I don't know, like the whole convention was so fun, but I really loved meeting like so many incredible people. Everyone was so nice, and yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it other than it's a great experience, and I would highly recommend it at least once for everyone in like the Twitch community. It's gonna be in San Diego soon, so.
Was it mostly like panels, or I'm assuming there's probably not cosplay if it's like a Twitch convention.
There actually were a lot of cosplays. I would say maybe not necessarily like a ton, but people definitely cosplayed like video game characters.
I was gonna say like League of Legends and Valorant feel like the most
Yeah.
like popular.
Like
yeah.
League, Valorant, Genshin.
Oh, I forgot Genshin, yeah.
A little bit of like Fortnite. I don't know. I think it was really like the convention itself, I'll be honest, was a little bit disappointing. I think it's a lot of just like panels, and then also like a lot of booths that you can kind of just go around and like see people get things.
Panels have never really been my cup of tea at conventions, because I'm like,
Same.
why would I go to this awesome place with all these cool people and things to look at and cosplays to see, and then just sit in a room for 2 hours and not experience any of that?
Yeah, I think it's different if it's like meeting like your favorite creator, or if
Absolutely.
it's like maybe learning more about the platform and like how that can kind of benefit you as a creator. But some of the panels honestly just felt very, for lack of better explanation, I'll just say they felt very out of touch with their platform. And so I don't know if maybe the event organizer didn't actively use Twitch, or if they just don't know what's like important to the community, but it just felt very disappointing in that way. And so I wouldn't necessarily recommend TwitchCon for like the panels or anything necessarily, because it's not some life-changing event type of thing.
It's about the people.
Absolutely. Like
The people you go with, the people you meet.
Yeah, like it was really just about community and seeing everybody together. I think that really, really stood out to me. Like it was really cool having so many like streamers and viewers and community members in one place, and just being able to see like Twitch really is like this really big and diverse community of incredible people, and getting to see that in person I think was really inspiring and really fun.
Yeah. I feel like I've been to anime conventions, which was a similar thing, like left a lot to be desired convention-wise,
Yeah.
but they were super fun because like I went with fun people and got to see so many cool costumes, and I did some of my first group cosplays at it, and people were really into that.
Yeah.
It was a cool experience, even though the convention we weren't thrilled with. The way they handled things just wasn't the best, but it
Yeah.
was still a good memory.
I think a lot of conventions, more than anything, are about community, and they kind of are like
Yeah.
what you make of it.
Brings people together that all have a common interest, which is really cool.
Exactly. I feel like
Yeah.
that's the main piece of it. That's what makes them so
Yeah.
fun. Because, like, we spent a lot of time doing, like, other stuff. We, like, after the TwitchCon party, went and grabbed dinner and hung out with friends. And, like,
That's the best.
yeah, like, one night we went to Dave and Buster's and we just all
That
hung
was
out and
so
grabbed
much
dinner,
fun.
played games.
That
Like,
was
it was
so
so
fun.
good. Like, Johnny, I don't know if you want to elaborate more on what we did, but
Honestly, TwitchCon, especially because that was also my first TwitchCon experience, and I've gone to another one. I'm going to another one this year, so I'll be going to my third in September, which is absolutely wild to even think about. Because I remember being like, I've never been to a convention, and now I'm like going to like 3, and so it's like my brain is like, wow, this is like a very blessed and privileged to have these opportunities. But yeah, my first TwitchCon experiences, it was definitely off to a very, very, very. I guess how would you even put this? Like, I don't know what the words are for it, but like starstruck and just like surreal type
Yeah.
of moment. Because I remember that I was at the airport, and I feel like Tyler knows where this is gonna go, but
yeah,
I
I
was
know
at the
it's
airport,
good.
and I was like waiting to board my plane because a lot of content creators obviously are going to the same destination, like TwitchCon, San Diego, and I just like see this man walking right by me, just like boarding the gate. I double took, like not even double took, I triple took. I looked 3 times. I was like, did I see right? Anyways, it's just like wild because like I ended up on the same flight as Nick A30, which was like mind blowing to me. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. This is really cool. I met some other incredible, amazing creators on the flight too that I would have otherwise never probably met if we hadn't had the same flight. So I'm really glad I got to meet them as well. I remember like I landed and like I was meeting Tyler, and like right after like Nick was right there too, and I'm like, can I please get a photo? I was like fangirling, and I was like, because I don't know, like Nick is another family friendly creator, which is also a big inspiration for me, and so I was like, oh my gosh, so, like just say hi and say thank you for being a great influence. But no, the TwitchCon experience was amazing. I got to meet Tyler, and Tyler was like one of the first people I got to be greeted by out of the airport, and I was so happy to meet Tyler. I know Tyler's so cute. And then we ended up meeting Dyer after, and I remember I ran up to Dyer and just gave him the biggest hug because I was just so happy to meet everyone, and it was just so like nice to be able to meet like friends that you've known for so long and like people online for such a good amount of time, and you're just like, I finally get to see you in person and be goofy in real life too. But no, I think Tyler makes a very, very telling point in Kathaya as well, in the sense of the convention, that with certain panels, depending on what the panel is, obviously there's something you can learn, but I think a lot of the things we already know as a creator, like a lot of things you kind of like learn off of each other, and you kind of learn from like different streamers and feedback. The first time I went, I was a lost puppy. I was like, hello? I literally had no idea what I was doing, but I think that's part of the journey and the experience. Like, I feel like your first convention is like kind of getting used to like the way things are and like where things are and how things work. But I think one of the biggest things that I truly took away from the first convention that of TwitchCon was being able to be with like-minded, amazing human beings that have similar interests and the same interests, like Kathaya said too, like a sense of community. And I think that's what Twitch is all about, like being around, your favorite creators and being around friends, and, being able to meet, like, even your mods. Like, I got to meet, like, Dyer, and I was like, that's, and Dyer was one of our amazing mods at the time in the JSaxter fam too. And so, like, being able to meet not only, your friends, but also people from your community, and, just being able to meet fellow amazing creators and influencers and participate in events and just, I don't know, just soak up the moment. But I think it's a really, really amazing opportunity, and I really love TwitchCon, and it really set me up for the second one, which was in Vegas recently, and that one was really exciting. I definitely knew what I was doing this time, so I'm really happy. I was not a lost puppy, but no, it was a great time, and I got to meet more friends too. Like, I got to meet Voltnia this time. I was on the same flight as Whitney, aka Keep Up Radio, and so like that was another fun thing. I'm like, hey girl, like our connecting flight was the same, and we were just messaging like there's no way. Anyways, ran up to each other, gave each other a big hug. But that's truly what it is about. Like, these conventions are opportunities to just be able to celebrate what you've done, celebrate you as a person, celebrate each other, and just bring out the best in each other. Because I always feel like with these conventions, you go with purpose and you have no idea what's going to happen, but like you especially leave with purpose and you leave motivated. Like I remember like both times I've left so motivated, being like, I'm so happy I get to do what I do. I'm so blessed I get to do what I do. And I've learned so much. And I think that's a big thing too, is, taking something valuable from it. So Kathaya, I'm actually really curious. I'd love to know if you want to like dive in more about like convention experience, like what kind of conventions maybe specifically have you been to, or which ones would you like to go to, or what have you maybe learned from these conventions?
I've been going to conventions since like 2016, I want to say. So it's been a while. I've mostly gone to like anime conventions and a couple Comic Cons.
Jealous. I'm so jealous.
'Cause I'm big on the cosplay. That's the main reason I go. I've been kind of taking a break from conventions as of late, just for some personal stuff. But I might go explore some in North Carolina after I move there, see what those ones are like. The first time I went to a convention, like you were saying, it was a very starstruck kind of feeling of just like, wow, look at it. It's like a wonderland.
I love Hollywood.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Well, we're going to end here. This actually went a lot longer than we expected for our first
Yeah, I'll edit some of
episode.
this down.
We talked about it and we were like probably like 30, 45 minutes for each episode, and we've officially been recording for about an hour and 11 minutes. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate
Yeah.
all of the support. And of course, this was a little bit of a weird episode because it's our first and we're trying to figure out how we want to format everything and just how we want to structure our conversation, how things are going to flow. And yeah, but thank you guys for being patient with us, and thank you for tuning in again.
Thank you.
But yeah,
Thank you.
If you'd like to see more of us, check out Tyler. He's RlyTyler, RlyTyler, just everywhere, anywhere you can think of. He's
Every
probably there under that
platform.
name. Yeah, all of this, everything. Just go look for him. Do it, I dare you. And then Johnny. He's JSaxter pretty much everywhere except for on TikTok and Twitter. He is Saxter. Is that Saxter J?
Saxter J.
Saxter J. And I am Kathaya pretty much everywhere. Instagram, I am Kathaya_cosplay for my cosplay content. Everywhere else, I am just Kathaya. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining in, and we cannot wait to share so much more amazing content and talk about so many more amazing things with y'all. But thank you guys so much for joining in, and we'll see you guys next week.
goodbye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.